I think the distilled essence of modern Star Wars is hearing that Lizzo is in it now.
Yep.
It's like
That's it.
not even the Death Star is safe from being race swapped.
Instead of becoming a live star.
That's no moon.
Nerdrotic.com.
It wasn't enough to race swap fictional characters. We need to start race swapping actual historical figures. And then when Egyptians freak out about it, you're like, well,
Racist.
what the fuck's wrong with you? You don't want to be associated with African?
They're like the casting.
Did somebody really say that? Do they know
director-
where Egypt is?
The director just published a self-published thing in Variety. Hold on.
Oh
no.
Yeah, they race change Anne Boleyn, historical figure.
Yeah, Anne Boleyn. I was going to mention that.
And then they get their fucking knickers in a twist over Lilo and fucking Stitch casting when the person they cast was actually fucking Hawaiian.
Yeah. They're insane hypocrites. I can't believe it. And this is legitimately really starting to bother me. The disdain and disregard for European history. This is an area that I'm really passionate about and love about. And they have just been pissing on it. Like the fact that they had Anne Boleyn, betrayed as a black woman is insane. And yet they will cry bloody murder if a person of color character is just one shade too bright, like we saw with Lilo and Stitch.
But this is meant to be a documentary. According to the Netflix trailer on YouTube that they put, the experts, inverted commas, they're saying shit like,
I don't care what they tell you in school. Cleopatra was black.
If they didn't want her to be black, they shouldn't have called her the Queen of the Nile.
Queen of the Nile.
This is an article by the director. Queen Cleopatra, director speaks out. What bothers you so much about a black Cleopatra? She starts off by saying, last summer, I decided to visit a fortune teller. I was a skeptic, but agreed to go along. What the fortune teller said made me roll my eyes. I'm not saying you are Cleopatra, but somehow you share her story and are connected. Less than a month later, Jada Pinkett Smith called me about African queens.
So this is a very level-headed saying.
We was queens.
I realize what a political act would it be to see Cleopatra portrayed by a black actress. This thing's insane, right? Why shouldn't Cleopatra be a melanated sister? And why do some people need Cleopatra to be white? Her proximity to whiteness seems to be her value. And for some Egyptians, it really matters.
So there's only black and white. She only thinks there's black and white in the world. That's it.
She's Greek, isn't she?
She's Macedonian.
Yes.
I've always known I was black anyway.
Yeah, didn't you know that, George?
Why don't they make a new character called Cleopatra?
Now that's some black exploitation.
No, that's a really good porn.
And then this one right here is the quote that I was talking about. Perhaps it's not just that I've directed a series that portrays Cleopatra as black, but that I've asked Egyptians to see themselves as Africans, and they are furious at me for that.
So this American chick asked Egyptians to see themselves as the country that's part of the African continent.
I didn't know she was this racist.
This person is, I don't know what, she's like got some Persian in her. I don't really know what her ethnicity is.
She sounds like she lives in Los Angeles.
She is, I want to speak to your manager, American.
Yes.
Look at her.
Yeah.
Look at her. You could just tell.
What a terrible shot. Like, this is the best picture you could put of yourself in your own fucking article.
I'm going to choose to stand next to a power box.
She is a power box, Chad.
I am the power.
I am proud to stand with Queen Cleopatra. This is the fucking admission here. A reimagined Cleopatra.
They know it's not accurate. They know. They're doing it on purpose. They're full of it.
I'm asking the people of Africa to identify with Ryan Gosling, okay? Just identify with it, okay?
It's different in the UK, but the UK has been way ahead of America on this, is mandates. So there are actual mandates to your entertainment, be it through BBC or ITV. They all agree on these 30% has to be, and they break it down to what they think the demographic should be, not actually what it is.
I still remember in like the 90s that Christian group, Focus on the Family. I remember they used to have a magazine. And I remember I'm at a doctor's office reading it. And this is in the 90s. I'm like a little kid. I don't know why I'm reading this magazine. There's nothing else to read. They don't have Ranger Rick, okay?
No, they
Take
don't.
it easy. So I'm reading this magazine, and they're talking about how Disney has has backdoor meetings for like race and sexuality quotas. That was in the 90s.
I know.
Yeah.
Like,
And that was thought to be crazy conspiracy theorist.
Yes, and it was like lunacy.
Flash
adaptation. Oh my god, that's so funny.
Don't give them ideas.
Yeah, right. And you know, it only goes one way though. Like Disney, you know, these advocates of having equal representation. Really? How many white people was in the live-action reboot of Mulan? Equal representation?
So
no, they don't. It only goes one way, and it shows how friggin' racist they are.
Let's do this one.
Yay!
Oh no!
Black killer.
It makes it more difficult to actually have discussions about history.
Yeah,
and how people were treated in the past when
Quarter
you
black,
manipulate it like
herstory, okay?
Herstory. Like you're putting this stuff into pop culture, and kids are going to consume it, and then they're going to believe that Anne Boleyn was black.
That's what they want. That's what they want. That's what they want.
Then when you go, black people were downtrodden the entire time throughout history, and they go, but
this is all part. This is all part of the equity drive.
What was their motivation behind race swapping Anne Boleyn?
They said that the motivation for race swapping Anne Boleyn is so that young people could relate more to a victim character with it being black.
Yeah.
Whoa.
So black people are victims.
They're training kids to relate to
That's
victims
how they see
also.
black people. They see black
Which
people
is
as
all
victims.
part of the equity drive.
Yes.
That's what it's about.
Dude.
Well, look at what they just did. I completely missed this. Like I caught it. It was one of those things like you see in the periphery of like a Variety article or something, a story about. This completely like passed me. The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, like grim dark reboot.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, and it's produced by Will Smith. I'm like,
yes.
I mean, first off, I'm like, when I heard Will Smith was working on a modern reboot, I naturally assumed it'd be, wife swap. But no, but seriously, like we've literally gotten to the point where we're scraping that far down at the bottom of the barrel where we have to we have to confront serious issues with regard to black kids in Bel-Air, right? That's literally what the framing of the show is.
One of my favorite shows growing up was Family Matters, and only recently did I learn they were all black.
What?
Wow.
I can't believe I enjoyed that. It was just pure hate the whole time. I didn't even know.
One of my favorite shows as a kid was, guess what? Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Because it was just funny. It was a great, funny show. When you weren't bothered about the fucking color of the characters.
But how did you relate to them being not of their persuasion?
I just wanted to know why so many light-skinned black people had the dark-skinned guy as their butler. It didn't make any sense to me.
That is fucked up, man.
I was asking those questions
That's how we do
when I was
though.
8 years old.
Hey, they have a term for that. Colorism.
It is a thing.
Can we get good writingism?
No.
Well, 2 weeks from now, all of the writers are going to quit.
So yes.
Yay.
Oh, well.
We got a writer strike coming up, so AI will take over.
Another one?
Yes.
And it's hilarious because the last time we had a writer's strike, some TV shows were still good.
Yep.
So it's like, what in the hell is going to happen now?
Yeah, I expect everything to get better.
Right? Probably.
It might. Are we going to notice? But I think it's a week or two. It's gonna start, and it's always good to have a strike during an economic downturn. That really helped Hollywood the last time they went on strike during an economic downturn. Yeah. Hey,
they certainly deserve that money for all the good work they're doing.
It gave us Alex Kurtzman because he did cross the picket line to go right. He was a scab, and he's still...
is that reimagining called The Fresh Prince's Wife Sucks Bell End?
I'll give it to you. It was a little late.
I tried so hard with that.
That was for the effort.
I really did. Gary, I tried my best. I did.
I workshopped it, Gary. I workshopped.
Yeah. I had pieces in my head. I was trying to get them together to work.
Nerdrotic.com. Please subscribe.
Hey, if you like what we do here at Nerdrotic Daily, please like, share, and subscribe. And if you could do that with your favorite YouTuber as well, I'm sure they would appreciate it as much as I do.